I am making this video, and it's been quite a while since I made a video. Still don't have my glasses fixed, so I don't have to wear these, so, anyway. So that's why I'm wearing sunglasses and it's dark outside. Not because I've been using drugs, but I haven't, so, well, I've been actually using a lot of drugs lately, but they've all been prescribed for me, so don't watch this video, see me in sunglasses, and think that I'm all of a sudden a drug user. But I am using a lot of drugs, but they're all legal. And so anyway, the reason why I'm using a lot of drugs is because of a phone call I got a week from this past Monday. Almost 2 weeks ago. It will be 2 weeks in a couple days, 2 days. But so anyway, oh boy, I don't know how to put this nicely, but I got a phone call saying that my last biopsy I had tested positive for lymphoma cancer. And before that, I always kind of joked about getting back the results of a biopsy with the big C word, and the last biopsy I had came back positive for cancer, for lymphoma. Trying to think if it's, trying to think if it's non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or Hodgkin's lymphoma, but anyway, it is the doctor said that who I met, the cancer doctor at the VA, who I met the day after I found out, said that it's not the good kind, but it's the kind that's harder to cure. So anyway, yeah, it's trying to think if it's non-Hodgkin's B-cell lymphoma, or I can't remember exactly, but it's not the good kind to get. So anyway, the first day I found out that I had cancer, that was Monday. Tuesday I had met with a cancer doctor. I had I had a bone marrow biopsy, which is a kind of pain you don't want to have. Okay, it is a new pain that you will not enjoy. It is extremely painful. They can't numb your bone. When they take your bone marrow, they can't numb that. They also can't numb your bone. They take some of your bone for the biopsy. Okay, that hurts. That really hurts. Okay, and so the third thing that Tuesday I had was I was admitted to the VA hospital in Fargo, and so that's those are the first 2 days of finding out I had cancer. Oh gee, this is fun. And the third day I had my first chemo for ever, and so anyway, I spent between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock at night in the injection room getting my chemo. Well, the whole time wasn't getting chemo. It was, waiting for my meds to come from the pharmacy, and also, what else was it? I think there's a couple other things that I was busy doing, but yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting there hooked up to my chemo, and well, actually, a lot of the time I was in there, I was getting drugs to reverse the effects of the bad side effects of chemo. So I spent a lot of time hooked up. Let's see, hooked up getting the medication to reverse to keep the bad side effects of chemo from happening. And so I did get a little bit queasy when I was there, but not so sick that I had a barf bag, but I never needed it. In fact, this is one of the barf bags I've gotten when I've been gone through testing or had chemo. I'd have it just to be on my side, just in case. I did never want to be in the position of throwing up all over myself or on the floor or anything. I just want to grab that and throw into the bag if I had to. So, and that is the first time I had chemo, was the first and last time I've ever been a little nauseous during chemo. Every other time, it's been great. Well, not great, but I've never even come close to needing a bag, like a barf bag, to throw up into because of the chemo. The other 3 times, the Thursday I had chemo, and the Friday, and then this past Wednesday, the 4th time I had chemo, I've never needed, not once, came even close to ever needing the barf bag. It's like, okay, when it comes to not, to having a sign-up sheet, to not suffer the bad effects of chemo, I will sign up any day of the week. So far, it's been perfect. Never needed to, yeah, so anyway, that's been the good, I think I've been a little queasy some other times, but not when I've been going through chemo, and not shortly after either. I've been had my chemo, and afterwards, I was fine. Perfectly fine. Oh, no problems at all. So anyway, and that was Thursday. I had chemo for the 2nd time. Then for the 3rd time, when I had it last a week ago, yesterday, I actually had a PET scan like early in the morning. A PET scan. Then I get back, I have a CAT scan, and then I went back up to my room and had breakfast finally. It was between it's about 10:30 in the morning when I finally had breakfast. And I was waited from 10:30 for a while. I was waiting for my my dog scan or my goldfish scan. Get it? PET scan, CAT scan, dog or goldfish scan. Get it? I know, not funny. That's true. It's true, but anyway. Gotta make jokes about this, hey, Gotta make jokes. Try to be funny. Gotta take away the power of it to make me feel bad about what I'm going through and to be down and depressed and angry at God, and just to say, it is what it is, you know. Folks, it is what it is, you know. I survived the lymphoma. Fine, I'm with my family and friends who love me, and I go on with my life, you know. But, oh, let's get that just right. Maybe not, but anyway. So anyway, if I survive the lymphoma, I'm with my family and friends who love me and want to be around with me for a long time. And so if I don't, I go to heaven and I'm with God for eternity. You know, not a bad alternative, but I don't exactly want to do that tomorrow either. You know, I want to live until, well, you know, until I'm at least as old as my parents. My dad is 83 and my mom is 85. And so I've got at least 30 more years of life to live, and God using me for His glory. So anyway, you know, yep. So I don't want to check out yet. You know, but hey, if God has other plans for me, that's the way it goes. I'm me, God's God. You know, God's on a little bit higher pay scale than I am, so whatever God wants, I need to accept it and live with it. So, but yeah, so what the heck? Oh, I've been getting. Oh, here we go. Let's see what this is about. Oh, whatever. Ah. Yeah, you get quite a few messages from Facebook when I'm trying to make a video, so, but, oh well. So anyway, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it really hasn't exactly been easy either. Continuing Friday. What happened Friday? I came down from my room down to the injection room and had my third chemo. And when I was there, the kidney doctor came in and said, well, you've got a little bleed on your right kidney where my lymphoma is. And, you know, I might have to go to Essentia in Fargo, and they would take care of it. You know, they might go in the next day and stitch it up, and, you know, but, you know, so that might happen. I might go to Essentia on Friday night. So after the chemo, I was like, well, I had dinner when I had chemo, you know. I'm eating dinner and I'm not getting sick. Okay, so that's pretty good, you know. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, I didn't get sick at all. Here I am eating dinner and having chemo at the same time. Did not get sick at all. None. Didn't even feel queasy. I mean, so that's not bad, you know. I had dinner actually after he left. I was still having chemo at the time, well, you know, when he left. So, anyway, had dinner, finished my chemo, went back up to my room, kind of waited, you know, the first doctor I met came in and said that, you know, I really might go to Sanford. I mean, not Sanford. Keep getting Essentia and Sanford mixed up. Keep saying Sanford, but I mean Essentia. And so eventually later on, they were like, yeah, you're going to Essentia. When 2 ambulance attendants showed up outside my room saying, yeah, we're going to Essentia. It's like, oh crap. Throw all my stuff into bags, and here we go. Hopped in the ambulance, and off I go to Essentia. So anyway, I get there about 9:30 at night, and kind of unpack and kind of get settled in for the rest of the night, and then go to bed. Well, no, I think I was up for a while. So anyway, that's what I did, and got up later the next morning, and they kind of welcome to the Essentia, and okay, what do I want to eat and stuff. Well, no, actually, um, the next morning they said that since I might go down for down for minor surgery to close up the leak in my right kidney, the bleed that I had in my right kidney, I shouldn't eat anything. I can't eat or drink anything. Nothing. Nada. Not a single thing could I eat. At that time, it's like my throat's like my mouth and throat's feeling like the desert. Desert in Arizona is like, I wonder if he'd drink something, but no, could not do that. Had to just sit there and wait until they finally decided that yes, I was going to do that, or no, I wasn't. And so anyway, one doctor had come in and said, he was like, I don't think you're going to I don't think we're going to do that surgery on you and, close that. He said it's a small bleed and there's not much blood bleeding around my kidney. Don't worry about it. No. But then he said, but then they had the other, eventually they had his boss come in with him. They both said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to have the surgery to stop the bleeding. Which wasn't much, but they said that, we've checked and we've seen the CAT scan and some of the biopsies. Maybe, I don't know. They looked at some of the film of my abdomen, and they saw that my lymphoma was choking the living daylights out of my poor little right kidney, and it had completely choked off the flow of urine from my right kidney to my bladder, and so my right kidney was getting bigger. They said, we got to drain that. We can't leave that alone. We absolutely have to do something right now. And so they called in I think they called up the lady who was who was kind of in charge of that part of it, and she eventually said, yeah, we have to do this now. We can't wait. Because what was happening was my lymphoma was choking the living daylights out of my kidney and could have killed my right kidney. And I'd be going through the rest of my life on one kidney and one kidney only, my left one. And so that would not have been good. That would have been very bad. And so they zipped me down to the room, and no. Actually, they had a nurse assistant come and get me and go down there, and she did not know exactly where it was. She had no idea. And so we're wheeling along and going into this area, and she's going into these rooms and looking for someone, and goes, hey, is this the right room for this procedure or not? And so eventually we found the right room, and so anyway, we got the right room and got in the right room, got got me ready to go, and I'm laying flat on my stomach, you know, and they had numbed up the area around the area where that was, where they were going to do that. And so anyway, that's exactly what happened, and they put let's see if I can. They put this in. You know, put a, can't see all of it, but anyway, they put a bag in to collect my urine from my right kidney into that. That's where that collects. A tube. They put a tube into my right kidney. You know, it's kind of like this is my right kidney. They put a tube right in the back of it and put it out, and the kidney kind of the tube comes out in a place back here, and it comes out and leaks goes into my tube, into my bag. So every so often, which, oh crap, that's getting kind of full. So anyway, I have to go and empty it out. You know, it's got a little thing on the bottom. You know, yeah, you can see the bottom right here. I kind of open this up and leak it out, and all urine that's coming from my right kidney goes into the toilet or a collection jar. And so after I went back to the ER, back to the VA, I would open the little tube up, leak into a little cup, and see how much I had done, and write it down on the board. And you know, so when I would take a leak, I would have a little urinal. I don't have one here with me, but I would leak into that and see how much that was, and write that down on the board too. And then the nurses would come in sometime, look at that, look how much I had done, and write that out on the board outside my room. You know, about on a piece of paper outside my room, right outside the door. They'd write how much I had, and they would keep an eye on how much I would drink. They would see. They would kind of, yeah, you really can't. You can see the amounts. You know, so they'd kind of, you know, fill us up with water and ice, and then when I'd drink all of it, then they would mark that down and kind of keep track on how much I would drink, how much water I would drink, and you know, to see how much I'd have liquid, I'd have input and outgo. And so, yeah, that's the way it was when I was at the VA hospital, you know. And even when I was at Essentia, before I went from Essentia back to the VA hospital. And yeah, anyway, that's kind of part of my story from what's been going on lately. Yeah, so Saturday, let's see, what day was that? No, Monday, this last Monday, a week ago. Yeah, this last Monday, I went from, they transferred me back from Essentia back to the VA hospital. And so they said that the nurses were going to be there at 3 o'clock Monday afternoon, and I had time to pack all my stuff, unlike the time when I first went to Essentia. I didn't have any time at all. And so anyway, I had all my stuff packed up and ready to go, and 3 o'clock came, and I'm still waiting, and no ambulance attendants, no gurney, no nothing. I'm just like, okay. And I was out by the nurses station going, well, where are they? And so, yeah, eventually I think they got up to my room about 3:15, 3:30. I think maybe it's 3:15. So anyway, you know, I was able to, you know, have just a couple bags, and that's it. And went back to the VA hospital, and there I was from Monday on, Monday afternoon on, until they released me Friday. And so, and I had chemo 1 on that Wednesday. I got back to the VA hospital. And again, no nausea, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, yeah. And then, the reason why I went back to the VA hospital was because they knew I was having chemo on Wednesday. And so on Wednesday, after that, Thursday and Friday, well, most of the rest of Wednesday after my chemo, and all of Thursday, and Friday morning, they kind of kept an eye on me, because there's a thing that can happen to somebody if when they have chemo will break down your cells. Okay, and so anyway, they were worried that, well, sometimes it happens that when you have chemo, you can have the cells that you break down of your of your cancer can break them down, and then the stuff inside that cell can be released into your bloodstream, and the toxins and other bad things that you have in your blood cells can cause you to get very sick and die. Okay, and so that's what they had to watch me for. They had to check my blood several times a day, and to see if the level of that is, those things were going up or not. If it was going way up, there's no way I would have been released on Friday. There's no way they would have let me go home on Friday. Okay, I would still probably be there. I'd probably still be at the VA hospital, but that's not what happened. That's not what happened. They were able to see that wasn't happening in my blood, that I wasn't having those, that a lot of toxins that I had in my lymphatic, lymphoma cells that were breaking down were not doing that. That wasn't happening. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know if it was my, the fact that, my lymphoma, the cells in my lymphoma haven't been breaking down very much, or what the reason is. But for whatever reason, I'm glad about that. I'm glad I could, I'm actually at my parents' place. Which, if you look, you can always tell it's not my place in Fargo, and it's not. It is my parents' place is in Valley City, and that's where I am now. But anyway, yeah, before the first doctor I had seen on the Tuesday after I found out I had lymphoma, he said that there's no way I could be on my own after the chemo. For the first few weeks after I had my first chemo sessions, I could not be on my own. I could just, that thing could happen to me. I could pass out and die, and they won't find me until it's too late. So that's why I'm here. And so we'll see. We'll play it by ear, and see if maybe if I don't have the bad side effects, and if that does not happen, then I can possibly go back to living on my own again. And yeah, but anyway, I've got neighbors that, there's a guy that would usually drive me to church every Sunday, and my family has his phone number, and if they tried calling me and I didn't respond within 4 or 5 hours, they would call him up, or even maybe 3 hours. They would call him up and say, "Go check Nate. We haven't heard from him in a while." And he would go to to the guy at my apartment that has every apartment key in the building, and he could open my door and they could go look for me, see if I passed out or something, or see if something's happened to me, see if I'm at home and I passed out. They call 911 right away, get me to the ER, and hopefully I won't be dead by then, but but anyway, so that's the chances of that happening are more than likely that I'll be okay, and that I won't need to have them do that for me, but you never know. I mean, like I said before, God has his plans and we have ours, and a lot of times God laughs. Well, supposedly God laughs, but it's probably not true. But anyway, I would probably, I would probably, hang on here, let me drink the rest of my water here. Yeah, so, anyway, there we go. Yeah, anyway, they would, if I'm feeling kind of sick or kind of feeling kind of bad or something, I would call 911 right away on my own. I'd say, I don't feel too good. I'm not supposed to, I've got lymphoma cancer, and, I need to go to the hospital right now. This is my address. Here I am, and, so I can, go to the hospital and have them find out what's wrong. If I felt that way, I'd do that right away. I'd have to pass out or collapse or something like that, so, anywho, oh man, I've probably got a few more minutes on the bag before I need to change it, but I should get off and go do that soon. But I just can't wait for them to tell me that my lymphoma has shrunk, has gotten a lot smaller. My kidney function in my right kidney has gone way up, and this whole bag is full of my urine from my right kidney, so you can see that it's doing a great, it's doing pretty good. My left kidney is not kicking out as much as it was before. Before, it was my left kidney was doing all the work, and my right one was doing next to nothing, because it was choking off the urine from my right kidney to my bladder. And so now it's kind of reversed. Now it's like my left kidney is doing almost nothing, my right kidney is doing all the work. But I just think after a while I will get back to where that'll be the case, where they're both working equally, and I'm doing okay, and then they can take this bag out. I would be going to the church with my dad and mom, the church my dad's a pastor of, but I'm afraid some little kids might see the bag hanging out, from my shirt, and get kind of freaked out about that, and kind of wonder about hey mommy, what is that? And so anyway, I'm going to be home at, my mom's going to go to church with my dad, and he's the organist and play the music, and, and so I'll be alone for a while, but, I just think they'll come back, and I'll be fine, and, okay, how was church, and, find out it's pretty good and stuff, so, but, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to be able to beat this. I know I am. You know, I mean, if I can beat having a stroke and having to work my butt off to be able to walk again, you know, to be able to do a lot of things I can do now. I mean, it's just like, you know, lymphoma is not going to be any, well, I really shouldn't say it's going to be no problem, but, you know, I think eventually I'm going to be fine and get back to normal and do a lot of awesome things that God has planned for me. I would love to talk to groups of people who have had strokes. And now I would love to talk to people who are going through, who have had lymphomia cancer. Lymphomia? No, that's not right. Yeah, well, anyway. You know, who've had lymphoma cancer and survived and are living a life that's pretty close to back to normal. You know, I think that's what's going to happen to me too. You know, it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy at all. But I believe that's what God has planned for me. And if that's not what happens, if I don't make it, if I end up dying, you know, I'm going to have a funeral plan that you will not believe and that you will never forget. Let me tell you that. You will not believe my funeral. You will never forget it the rest of your life. I promise you that. If I don't make it, that's what's going to happen. You know, that is exactly what's going to happen. You know, but anyway, I don't think I'll need to do that. I think God's going to use me in a wonderful way of talking to groups of people that have had a rough road in life, and to say, you know what, the best thing you can do is to follow advice that Winston Churchill gave in a commencement speech in the 1950s in a college in Missouri. He said, and I quote, Winston Churchill said, never, ever, ever, ever give up. That was his entire speech. His entire speech. After he said that, he sat down, and that was it. That was all he said. And whatever adversity and controversy you go through in life, whatever rough bumps you go through, think about that every single day you're going through that. Okay? So no matter what you're going through, know that, believe that, trust that. Trust in God and Jesus Christ to see you through that adversity, to see you through the hard times you are going through, because that will happen. It's not if you go through adversity, it is when you go through adversity. Okay? And you have a choice to make. You, the person who's watching this, have a choice to make. When you are going through that adversity, you have a choice. Okay? You have a choice to make. You know? Let me finish off my Pepsi before I finish here. My Diet Dr. Pepper, I mean. Sorry, Pepsi, didn't mean to say. Sorry, Diet Dr. Pepper, didn't mean to say, call you Pepsi, but anyway. So anyway, got a little bit left. But anyway, you have a choice to make. Okay? This is the absolute fact. This actually happened to me when I was going through a really rough time in the Navy, in Pearl Harbor. I was going through a situation. I don't remember what it was, when it was, how it happened. But anyway, I was going through so much adversity. and so much, adversity. I guess, yeah, I guess that's the right word. I was going through so much adversity, and that's when God spoke to me. Not in an audible voice, Nate, this is God. No, that didn't happen. So if you like to make fun of Christians, I'm not saying that ever happened, because that never did. But no, God spoke to my mind and to my heart, and God said, bitter or better. God said, bitter or better. Every time we go through adversity, we have the choice to make. We have the choice to become bitter, angry at God, ticked off at God, mad at God for allowing us to go through that adversity, or we can allow God to use that adversity and use that not controversy, but use that adversity we are going through to make us a better person. And you are the only one who can make that choice. You are the only one who can decide which one, bitter or better, that you are going to do. Okay? Because God can use any adversity, God can use anything to make you a better person, if you will allow Him to do that. Okay? Because when I was going through my after my stroke, I would make jokes about it. I would say my number one piece of advice would be, like, all serious and stuff. My number one piece of advice is, after you have a stroke, is don't have one. I would say that. After you have a stroke, don't have one. That's your advice? Yeah. And it's like, are you kidding? Of course I'm kidding. Of course I am kidding. Because you can't not have a stroke after you have a stroke, okay? That is not possible, And so anyway, I would do that because I wanted to take the power of having had a stroke to affect the rest of my life, okay? I was taking the power away from my stroke to look back at that and to be mad and angry and upset about having had a stroke. Okay? And another thing I would do along the same lines is when I was in high school, I had one friend. One. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. I had one single friend my whole entire 4 years of high school. Okay? And that one was a freshman at West Fargo. And so anyway, I was friends with this girl, and she was like the most popular girl in almost the entire school. She really was. She was drop dead gorgeous. She was so sweet, so nice, so awesome. Oh my gosh. She would be a dream come true for any guy that would marry her. I am not kidding. She was just awesome. Okay? And so anyway, one time I said something stupid, and that was it. She was gone. We weren't friends anymore, and that was it. And so anyway, that was when I was a freshman, and I didn't have any friends the next 3 years after that, the rest of my freshman year, and after that for the next 3 years. I had zero, nada friends the next 3 years. That's how it was. I am not kidding. It sucked. It really sucked. But that's the way it was. I mean, and so after that I would make jokes about that too. I would say I was as popular. Oh man, I need some more popular to finish this off. Yep, complete gun. No more Diet Dr. Pepper free. Oh, in this bottle. Anyway, so anywho, I would make jokes about it. I would say in high school, I was as popular as a porcupine at a balloon time contest. Okay, think about it. Think about it. Can you imagine a little porcupine, just walking up to a balloon time contest and people looking at him going like, what the blank are you doing here? What the frack are you doing here? That's how I was in high school. People will look at me like, what are you, we don't like you. Go away. Leave us alone. That's what it was for me in high school. I mean, but, I say that intentionally to be, that is 100% funny and 100% fact. Okay? It's the truth. I was so unpopular. That's how unpopular I was in high school. But then I also say it, the way I say it, is to also be funny. So I can laugh at that. So I can laugh at the fact of how unpopular I was in high school. So I can look back at that and shrug my shoulders and say, you know what? So what I wasn't popular? Big rippin' deal. It doesn't matter anymore. It matters. I don't give a crap about not being popular anymore. And it is never going to affect me so much that I get down and depressed and upset about the fact that I wasn't popular in high school. And I can only do that by making fun of it. By making fun of the fact that I wasn't popular. Okay? I mean, if I couldn't make fun of it and laugh at it, I might get depressed, and who knows what I'd do if I wasn't able to laugh at it, I mean, you've got to do that when it comes to adversity. You have to. You've got to take away the power of that to control the rest of your life. It is like dragging around a ball and chain around your ankle when you think about it every time. When you think about it every time and you get mad about it and you get and it affects you the rest of your life, it's got the power that you don't need to give it. You do not need to give that situation and that incident in your life the power to affect your life until the day you quit thinking about, until the day you can make fun of it, and the day you can laugh at that. Okay? When you can do that, then it has no more power in your life to affect any other day, anytime you think about it. I can look back at that and I can just laugh and shrug my shoulders and say, you know what? It means nothing to me now. Not having friends in high school means nothing to me now. And that's why I do it. I don't want to give it the power to affect me anytime I think about that the rest of my life. I'll do that to the same situations in your life that have been tragic, that have been sad, that have been absolutely consuming your mind, up to this point. Forgive the person who you need to forgive and let it go. Let it go and go on with your life and live your life the way you want to live it. Okay? Because when you can do that, you can be free. You can be free and live your life the way you want to live your life. And also put your faith and trust in God and in Jesus Christ to be able to do that. If there's something that's so bad that happened to you that it is really hard for you to do that, say, Lord, help me. Lord, help me to be able to forgive this person for this. Help me to forget it. Help me to get this out of my life. I don't want it to be a ball and chain around my ankle the rest of my life. I mean, that is my advice. You know, that is my advice for living your life and living your life free. You know, I mean, to get rid of, to forgive the people you need to forgive, to get over the things you need to get over. You know, I mean, what good does it do me? What good does it do me to be upset and angry about having had my stroke or having lymphoma now? What good does it do me to do that? Nothing. Nothing. It doesn't do me any good to get mad and upset at God for allowing me to have lymphoma. You know, it's like, you know what? Hey, if I live my life to the age of my parents, if I survive this, and live to the age of my parents, great. If I don't, great. Because I will be spending the rest of eternity in heaven with God, with Jesus, and with all my other relatives and friends who have already passed on and are in heaven waiting for me. Okay? You know? I mean, they will be waiting for me when I get there. And it'll be a party when I get there. They will be like, we've been waiting for you for so long, and here you are, and it's like, welcome to heaven, and it'll be a blast. It'll be awesome. It'll be a better party than I could ever imagine when I get there. It will be. I know it will. You know, because that's what God has planned for me. You know, either way I win. You know, with my faith and trust in God and Jesus Christ, I win either way. I survive the cancer. I'm with my family and friends until it's my time to go. You know, if that's what happens, then great. If I don't, okay, well, I'll miss my family here, and they'll miss me, but, you know, I'll be in heaven and celebrating with my family there. And celebrating with my family and friends that are already in heaven. You know, so anyway. But yeah, oh man, this is really getting full. I better quit this video and go empty out my bag and possibly make another video. I don't know, we'll see. See what time it is. Maybe I should go to bed. I'll go see if my mom's still up or not. She was still up before I started the video. Maybe she's still up now, but anywho. But yeah. Anyway, this is a long video. But anyway, might empty this and make another video for a while. Who knows? We'll see. Bye bye. Talk to you later.